Welcome back. It's California Edition. I'm Brad Pomerance. Michael Moore is here. No, not the film director. It is the new fire chief in the city of Riverside. Chief, congratulations.
Thank you.
Very happy for you. How did you wind up becoming the fire chief in the great city of Riverside?
I've been in the Riverside area for about 15 years,
wow.
Locally here in Corona, Riverside County.
Sure.
And I just always aspired to be here in the city of Riverside,
Right.
and just took the opportunity when it came available.
And you had been with the Orange County Fire Authority, which is what exactly? Give us a sense.
Yes, it's like a joint powers agency. Actually has 71 stations, encompasses the whole county of Orange.
Wow.
Which actually covers 23 contract cities and the county unincorporated areas for Orange County.
Sure. So now you've come back, you're in Riverside, and I want to get a sense from you, and the reason I wanted you to join us is because these are frightening times for a lot of us. We are in the midst of one of the worst droughts in really the history of modern California. I mean, some have said it's the worst drought in 500 years, in 150 years. We've been so focused on the water side of the drought, having a lack of water. But that has an impact on the land, on the topography.
Yes.
So what are you seeing from your vantage point when you think of the drought? What do you see when you look out?
Yeah. I've been in the fire service for 32 years, and I've seen most of the large conflagrational fires that have come through this Southern California area. I can date back to the '93 Old Fire.
Right.
Looking back just here in 2008 of the Freeway Complex fire, which I was one of the first responders. Those numbers, as far as drought, were far worse than those areas when we just had area conflagrations of fire. And that's what we're seeing now is we have dead vegetation, we have lower humidities, and we have the Santa Ana winds that are just upon us.
What does it mean, you know, for us lay people, what does it mean when you have dead vegetation, low humidity, winds picking up? Other than the obvious, what does that mean?
It means it's the fuels are ready to burn. It's a tinderbox where we'd have normal humidity or moisture in the fuels that would give us or buy us sometime. It just is like a confetti. When it catches on fire, it goes, and then backed by any winds or any topography that's going to help that, the fire just goes in such a rapid speed, it's hard for us to get ahead of the fire.
Today we're in our Inland Empire Bureau in Riverside, and I've worked out of this bureau for several years. It is hot, and it feels like a different type of heat. It is so dry. You know, some people like that dry heat, but I feel as if I'm not in Riverside, but in Palm Desert. That's how dry it feels. And I look out into the beautiful mountains and I think, oh my, I mean, if it's feeling this dry here, I can't imagine how it is in the Coachella Valley, for example, or even farther inland. What would I see there?
And that's what if you look, we're experiencing up north. A lot of the fires are happening there. And it's just really most of the fires in this area are weather driven, and that's the Santa Ana winds that creates additional drying and additional lack of humidity that causes that fire to expand and to spread a lot faster.
You mentioned up north, and it reminds me of the Rim Fire. To remind our viewers, in August of 2013, there was a fire in Northern California. It burned 400 square miles. I remember I was flying from Sacramento back to the Los Angeles area. I could see the smoke. It was as if I was looking at a satellite image, and yet I was only in a plane. I mean, that's how dramatic it was. And I have spoken with some people who represent those areas in the legislature, and just devastating and just decimated that community. What's most remarkable, and really I should say all those communities, what's most remarkable is we haven't had that, and it's even drier.
Yes.
I mean, is this just Mother Nature smiling at us?
It's something that all the fire agencies working together are preparing for. We have a very robust mutual aid and automatic aid system that we send companies up north when they have their larger fires. And then for us, when we need their help, we're prepared to have them come down. But we've done local training to be able to activate those plans that we have in place to get teams from up north to come down. We have our local teams that will be able to respond and act accordingly to what we're presented with.
I believe recently we memorialized, it was the 1-year memory of the firefighters in Arizona who were overtaken during a wildfire. I think it was almost 20 men who died.
Yes.
And so I'm wondering, given the potential risks we face as we enter the end of 2014, what can be done to protect our men and women who are fighting for us?
We've taken a lot of steps from that tragic incident where we've looked at some of the main causes, lack of communication, having proper rest periods, some of the things, having those safety zones and escape zones that needed to be in place. And we've studied those tragic incidents to nauseam at times, just to make sure that we never have to experience that on a local level. And we continue to train and work towards preparing for those situations.
I had always thought that one of the best ways to control fire was to set fire. We know them as controlled burns. I know there have been times over the years I've been driving on the freeway and see a fire, and then I realize, oh no, that's actually a controlled burn. This is being planned. I understand this year there are no controlled burns. Why is that, sir?
We've halted all of our control burns just because it is so dry and it's just so unpredictable. We usually make sure that we are able to have a stopping point whenever we have those controlled fires. Right now, it's just no controlling once the vegetation is so dry, and if you get any wind or get any control where it starts to create its own weather, that fire is off to the races. So for safety reasons, we've decided to halt any controlled burns at least this season.
Along those lines, I know that fire agencies in Riverside and throughout the state are enforcing what's known as defensible space. We have about 2 minutes, and I think this will be a valuable 2 minutes for you to explain to us what is defensible space.
Defensible space starts with, we have 2 zones. Essentially, zone 1 is anywhere from 0 to 30 feet, and that's kind of like your green zone where you're going to have your normal vegetation and shrubbery and those things, but we want it clean. We want to get any dead leaves, anything that could be combustible away. And then we have our zone 2, which is we want to reduce the fuel zone, which is anywhere from 30 feet to 100 feet around your property. Again, going through making sure all dead vegetation is up and ready to not be able to be ignitable.
But what's scary right now is in some ways we're being encouraged to let our lawns die because we don't have the water to hydrate them. And so I'm worried and wondering if you're concerned about this new it's kind of hip to have a brown lawn.
Yeah.
Is that of concern?
Well, it is. Usually the grasses aren't going to be the contributors to some of the larger conflagration fires. And then, we're saying that we need to still water 4 days a week and keep it down to not 7 days a week, twice a day.
It's interesting. In Riverside, the Inland Empire, it's 4 days a week, but if you went farther west, it's 3 days a week. Even farther, it could be 2 days a week because of the relative humidity.
Yes.
So in our final moments, what are your tips, your one tip if you could, to keep us safe?
Just prepare, harden your home, look at your homes, look around your home. Once you have hardened and prepared your home, and then you get ready as far as clearing vegetation, and then looking at being prepared to go, just like we just had the earthquake up north.
In Napa.
You want to be prepared for fires where you have a go bag and you're ready to get out and go.
He is Michael Moore. He is the new fire chief in the city of Riverside. My name is Brad Pomerance. It's California Edition.